The last day we're allowed on shore.
Like we are back to construction zone.
I'm going to remove the injectors, but at this point I need to see if I can solve the problem at least a little bit myself. Doing a leak down test. It has a nice crack in it, so that's a bit disheartening, I guess is the word.
We decided to see the world by sailboat. We sailed from the Great Lakes of Canada and made it to the Bahamas, where the unexpected happened.
Not able to start the engine.
Let's go!
You've probably already played tic-tac-toe before, but have you ever tried underwater tic-tac-toe? It brings the game to a whole new level. One of the trickiest things, though, is to set up the board so it stays down on the sand. You also want something heavy to mark your X's and O's. We use two different types of dive weights for that.
And the game began with Cody and Therese. Having to hold your breath, dive, break up the dive weights, then place it made tic-tac-toe so much more fun.
There was a lot of confusion as to if we were actually allowed to go to shore or not. Black Cay didn't have anyone living on it, but the police boat had told us to stick around our boat, or at least close by spearfishing. So an underwater game of tic-tac-toe with wildly Intrepid and Sailing Vinyasa seemed like the perfect solution.
Oh, stupid! I thought about it too much.
After a few rounds of tic-tac-toe and a good workout, Sailing Vinyasa were the winners.
It's amazing what a little bit of like strenuous activity will really deplete your brain cells. That's fine.
Look at Piranha! Piranha! Piranha!
There's Piranha floating away on us.
Always, always, always make sure to tie anything around your sailboat really well.
Well, this is the last day we're allowed on shore, so we're making the most of it. Gonna do some stretching since we probably won't be allowed on shore at least for 5 days, maybe more because they keep changing everything.
Yeah, the Bahamas is going under a complete lockdown, so we will be stuck on our boat. So last day for any sort of somewhat land activity, which we are on an uninhabited island, which seems to be a bit of a gray area if we can or can't go. I mean, the police did come to see us, and it was kind of okay to be here.
But
so.
it seems, I guess we're lucky here because there's a lot of places like Long Island and Eleuthera where you can't go to shore at all. I find it a little bit weird, but I mean, I understand the government wanting to like take care of their own people and prioritize them first, but it seems like the restrictions are trying to force cruisers out.
Yeah.
And they're making it harder and harder to, be here. I totally understand no inter-island travel and not spreading the virus, but for people to be not even allowed to swim around their boat in some places seems a bit extreme to me. We need to get exercise. We're not like...
A 33-foot sailboat is not big. You can't really walk around.
It gets a bit ridiculous when you're not even endangering anybody, whether you're spearfishing to feed yourself or you're just swimming around your boat for exercise, and they're telling you can't do that. Luckily, so far, the police here have been very friendly, and they're just making sure we're not doing anything illegal, like spearing for lobster or anything, because it's not in season, and just making sure we're safe and we have everything we need.
Yeah.
But that could change any day because it seems like everything's changing so quickly. But for now, let's get some yoga. I haven't done yoga in... Oh look, there's mold all over my pad because I haven't done yoga in so long. It's gonna be funny. You'll see how out of shape I am.
Every day I've been waking up kind of stressed, on edge, and just constantly thinking about the coronavirus, just because it's starting to affect us more and more. Initially we just kind of heard about it and we weren't really paying too much attention, but now with all those stricter laws that are changing day by day, it's really hard to stay positive and to not just stress out and freak out. Trying to like keep your mind positive as much as possible. And coming here to the beach today and just doing some yoga and meditation and trying to like clear your mind and relax your body felt really good.
This is like hot yoga. I'm dying here.
I'm warm. I almost need to go jump in the water, I think. Pause to the water. Back to the mat. Well, so far it starts pretty good. We have a grouper, a black market, and a school snapper. That one I actually shot once. Cody shot it once. Then I shot him again. And then Cody ended up just like spearing it and pushing him on the ground to try to finally get it. The spear just wouldn't want to stay in.
Well, we are day one of the 5-day lockdown here in the Bahamas, which means we can't leave our boat for pretty much any reason. If you're on land, you can't leave your home or your backyard. So the way I figure it is, if we swim around our boat, that's our backyard, but we can't go much further than that. You can only stay cooped up in your boat for so long. But we're doing pretty good. We've got 3 episodes in the queue right now, rendering out, and then we're gonna upload them to YouTube. But it's been a pretty productive day so far, and I think it's time to go for a bit of a swim.
Corey tells me to jump once the camera is at my face. And then all of a sudden I'm like already committed, and he's like, wait. So I'm wet. Retake.
How's the water?
Oh, it's so nice. It's like only 6 feet deep though. And there's no shark.
Behind you. There's Bart right behind you.
I bet you he's not there. Bart is not
But
here.
you're still looking.
You bugger. Group for pasta.
The last of our fresh parm, pesto, and yummy, yummy, I'm excited.
Turns out we had one last box of wine.
How excited are you right now?
Really excited. I haven't had wine in so long. All of the liquor stores are closed. Considered non-essential in the Bahamas. Well, it seems like we are back to construction zone. We had quite a few days or weeks of beautiful, clean boat, and this is over. We're taking advantage of the lockdown, day number 2, and Corey's working on the engine.
Two things I haven't tested yet. We're pretty sure we're losing compression, but I figure I want to rule out a couple more issues that might be causing some of the problems. Some people suggested this in private messages after they found out our engine didn't work. One of them was, I'm wondering if my muffler is full of water and maybe the engine's having trouble pushing the air through there. So I don't know, I think it's pretty unlikely, but I do see a bit of a rust stain at the bottom edge of the muffler, which could indicate that there's quite a bit of salt water buildup there from trying to start it before I turned off the water intake for the engine. And so I'm gonna pop off the pipe and see if any water comes out. And then the other thing that I'm thinking will be a little more fruitful, hopefully, is the injectors. I'm going to remove the injectors, hopefully, because they tend to be hard to get out from my research, and mount them upside down one at a time, and put a piece of cardboard over the nozzle where you get the spray pattern, so they're supposed to spray out in a cone, and basically see if they're giving a good spray or if they're maybe clogged with some debris or something. That would be really nice if that was the case, because it would be a lot simpler than the problems that I'm believing that we have. So we're gonna start there. I think that's kind of the last thing we can do, and then at that point, I mean, honestly, I probably would have left it if the States and a lot of the other countries weren't completely shut down. But at this point, I need to see if I can solve the problem at least a little bit myself, so that we're not having to use the Dinghy engine to try to get us around. 3.3 horsepower isn't very much for a big boat like this. So let's see what happens.
While Corey's working on the engine, I'm working on Mr. Scobie, the dinghy. It's been leaking, we kind of fixed it, but then there's more holes that came. It's just ungluing itself.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was so bad.
So I'm gonna glue this. I tried to clean it up with the acetone, but it's like I almost need a brush or something to get it better. And there's a little bit on this side too.
Wow.
Not as bad. Okay, I think you gotta start messaging your mechanics, Graham and Nico, and enjoy some hummus that I made. Coming?
Yeah, I'll be there in a sec.
I love fresh veggies in the hummus. Oh, it's just so refreshing and crunchy.
So I think the next step is going to be to pull the head. So I've got a little bit of work ahead of me. I'm trying to label everything and keep it all neat and tidy so I can put it all back together just fine. This is going to be probably the biggest job I've ever done on an engine, period. Hopefully we'll have a running engine at some point. Unfortunately, we can't get any spare parts here, which is really, or we could, but it'll take a really long time. So we might end up having to sail back to the States anyway to get our parts, or just waiting here for a long time, which is kind of scary considering the world circumstance with the virus and everything. Well, the boat's a bit of a mess. Alex is cooking away, cooking up a storm.
Yeah, I said I was the cook. So tonight on the menu we have Mediterranean style potatoes with like sun-dried tomatoes, black olives and celery. And I also was a fisherman. This is my little glass-eyed snappers that I fished the other day. With a little bit of rice.
Yum. And we got the head of our engine here doing a leak down test. Ooh, that's weird light, but oh well. And yeah, everything's a bit of a mess right now. It looks like the pistons are glazed as well. We might even have a cracked piston, I'm not 100% sure.
We are on day 3 of the whole lockdown. It hasn't been that bad actually. We haven't really been leaving the boat other than for swimming and cooling down, because we've got the dinghy on top of one of our hatch, which means that there's no airflow whatsoever into the boat, which is kind of really hot. I think yesterday was like 30 degrees inside the boat, which is whew. So it was good to go cool down and just enjoy the scenery and relax a little bit. But it's a beautiful Saturday morning. There's like barely no wind. Might actually go for a swim before I start doing anything. Well, that was a really refreshing swim, and now I think we're gonna have to go down below and get a little bit of work done. I think I'll do a bit of editing today, and Corey's probably gonna jump back into the engine troubleshooting. He actually got the head off, but it took all afternoon to just dismantle a bunch of different parts and making sure everything was okay, labeling every single part so that we know what goes where and how. But it's been quite a bit of a project, and I find with the lockdown it's good to just stay busy and work on different things, as well as focusing on your mindset, because I've been quite a bit stressed and depressed with the whole virus. But then the other day when I woke up, I was like, okay, today I have to stay positive and it's going to be a really good day. And you know what? It was a super nice day just because I focused so much on not letting myself down and just keeping up those vibes and staying positive.
Trying to carefully remove this. Not that I'll be able to reuse it, but I don't want to scratch the head here at all. So today's been a day of mostly just scraping carbon off of combustion chambers and the head and the block. And I just started the block and I figured I would get the pistons cleaned up a little bit. And I found the one piston that wasn't holding liquid as well as the other. It has a nice crack in it. So that's a bit disheartening, I guess is the word. Because I thought maybe we'd be able to reseat the valves or get the valves grinded so that they were seating nicely, because they're not doing that great either. There's liquid passing through them, so that's where we were losing some of our combustion. But since we have a cracked piston, that means we're gonna have to pull the whole engine out and do a lot bigger of a job than I had anticipated. It's a cute little engine though. It's so tiny. Even though I kind of hate it right now because everything's going wrong, and every time we do something or look at something else, there's something else wrong. But it is a cute little engine. Bart's taking over our swimming spot. He's hanging out right behind the boat. Where's the food? He wants to know.
And today is the first day of the no more lockdown.
I finally shot a porgy.
Well, yes, it's our last day in Black Cay, eh?
Restrictions on us are making it so impossible to stay that we have to leave.
We want to welcome our newest patron, Scott and Diane Smith.
And Captain Foxy.
Thank you so much for all the support. We love you guys.